No, I didn't. Bro, Nosh is blasting. It's because the game's so fucking clean, bro. Zero, one, big gas nigga. I'm unmuting comms. I'm unmuting comms. I'm unmuting comms. I'm unmuting comms. I don't hear drags. Because I have streamer mode on. Yeah. Is this just not running harder anymore?
Yo, what's good?
Or is this just good entry? If this is legit, there's no FUD, you know? Like,
It's
just
legit.
good entry.
It's legit. Right, fully linked.
Has he locked a player? Is he saying he's locking a player?
This is not working.
No. We have him on tracker. Just stay in tracker.
Oh my god, I can't fucking...
Bro, if he locks a player, into like 15, no? Because he has 10%. If he locks a player, it's fucking rips.
Okay.
Wait, what's
Kelly
it
should
quick?
be here.
Yeah.
Okay. No browser. There we go. You know, I need to fix a few things here.
We haven't spent lots of banner 3, bro. Just we need to get in this.
Yeah.
Why do we have language
Okay.
bro?
Yeah, and I'm just a guy that's losing 30 apparently after doing all the research. It's fucking nice.
So why is I mean, Kenzo is blasting. This is good. Bro, he is blasting. Wow.
Oh my gosh. They have to know something. This is fresh funded, right?
I haven't checked.
I'm gonna check real quick.
I never checked actually. I was too deep in the GitHub.
That was
But the source is so bugged for me, bro. I can't even
We
see
do-
it. It's loading.
No,
Oh, Binance 11 hours ago. I already checked.
Okay.
Just remembered.
Jim, can you check this help and see if it's like good?
I'll send it to you. Look in chat. I'm pretty sure it's clean as fuck.
I'm in right now 7 mil, but I might have to slay on that.
And the tech here is obviously good and has max potential.
If he locks, I'm literally twerking.
Or I'm down because I bought too much at the top.
Alright.
Yeah, I mean, I always buy before my research now.
One sec.
Me and Nosh are like the first DXs off, right?
Thank you for dragging me, by the way, especially appreciate it, bro. Did you click on this or you want to shoot
Just
it?
install this real quick.
You sure?
When I install it, I can just launch it, to be honest. So what I'm gonna do is I'm probably
me out
gonna
of it
just
right now.
launch
This was
it.
early wallets. I kind of clipped it all the way down there.
It's
Fine, we just need
still,
some power
okay.
motion here, bro.
Still downloading, my bad, I'm tripping.
Launch ever. So I think it was really just normal traders. Because somebody
Yes, sir.
There's like things that say something's irrelevant.
I'm just watching the stream right now. I mean,
Oh,
video.
you might actually be right, yeah, because it's not even.
So they're trading on Bullx. I'm trying to get the Bullx running on here, but I can't with my normal. So, because my normal connection is like blocked with Telegram for some reason because of this package. It's like a package restriction. So whenever I try to like use this, it's not working. So what I do next is I'm gonna use a Tor browser instead because I can use custom interceptions, and with that I can pretty much have custom configurations running here. So when I have the custom configurations running, right, I can just pretty much select through these servers and I can pretty much use it here. It's much easier. It's a little slower, so I need to find a fix for that. But if I can find a fix for that, I think I should be able to get this running properly. I'm just gonna use this one, the native Tor terminal. Okay, so now it seems like everything's fine. So it's still connecting at there. All right, so once this is done, fuck. Anyways, restore. Now I'm just gonna try Telegram. All right. Okay, I got restart, I guess. Cool. Just got in a restart. Where is it? Can I pin this to desktop? Okay, there you go. It's much easier. You connect it to the internet. Okay, so I guess the interception doesn't work. So I'm probably gonna use. Which one should I use? There was this one. Let me try. It should work. So once that's done, I should be able to launch this. Oh, fuck off. Why is it not working? Come on. You know what? I'll use DeepSeek for this. I'm not trying to waste my Claude stuff. So I'm just gonna search up like which mirrors. So I'm just gonna try this. What's up with this? Bro, I swear to God, like, DeepSeek is dog shit, to be honest. Let me try this. Okay. You still a browser? Uh. Okay. Or mirrors? SQL map. Not SQL map. My bad. Interpret. Okay. Okay. Um. Bruh. Let me rewind stream. Actually, you know what? Let me do that. Let me like my own stream. Where is it? Where is the? Wait. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? What? Oh, come on. I've been streaming for 6 minutes. There's no way this is the most it has. Oh my god, this is annoying. So, which one was it? Come on, man. I'm trying to just launch Tor browser. Let me do that. Tor browser. Desktop. Which one was it? I think it was this one. Okay. So let's give it some time. So apart from that, obviously I have the trade journals, so let's do some cyber stuff. Okay, so it seems like we have the OWASP top 10, obviously. So as you can see, the insecure design and all this. So this is the top 10, obviously. Cyber cookies, cookies and JWT. It's basically a JSON web tokens, so it's like cookies, but for JavaScript. So, Cyber Chef. Okay, this is the encoding right here. So learn the basics. So security concepts and this. Honestly, I think I have a module for cybersecurity, so I'm pretty sure I should just be able to log in. To be honest, let me try logging in. Okay, I just logged in just like that. I don't care if you guys see my name. Who gives a fuck? Modules. Okay, this was on the 30th of Jan. So it's nothing new. It's just the same old bullshit. That's what it is. It's on S3. Okay. Cool. Interesting. Trailer. Yep. TCP connection request. And as you can see, we have the response as well. Okay. It's not fucking working, bro. I swear to God, like, I can't fucking launch. Fuck. Fuck off. Look at this bullshit. I swear to God. I ain't a fucking soul, dude. Protocol. I need a picture of this. Transmission control protocol. And use a datagram protocol. Okay. User datagram protocol, exactly. So we have application layer protocols and everything in between. So these are the different layers. So obviously these are the 6 layers, 7 layers, right? Yeah. Can I just cyber protocols right here? Cool. This is the usual, right? So secure and normal. So apart from that, we have requests and responses back. Key components. It's the request method and the status code, the headers and stuff. So these pass on the cookies and stuff and everything in between. So this is the usual request and responses cycle, as you can see. So client sends a server request and server sends a client request back. So once again, this is the secure version. And DNS, so that's the usual what you connect onto. And yeah, caching, so basically saving it temporarily. Query the domain. Yeah, so DNS caching. Let me grab this real quick. Hyper DNS caching. There we go. Copy this again as well. Let me just copy all this and just paste this here. Did I don't fucking paste that? Okay. Okay. Yeah. Get Mac. So if I just run get Mac, I think I should be able to get the MAC address. Okay. That's the MAC address. Yeah. IP address. Okay. Cool. Interesting. Is my... It's still not working, is it? I need to fix the problem here. It seems to be a bigger problem. Ah. There we go. References. Cool. Network and internet. Okay. So it seems like just close these. The fuck. Okay. Oh, the market's open. I think the market should be open as well. No, it's closed. I'm not gonna check the markets before, because it's no point just checking the markets for no reason, to be honest. One sec, guys. Okay, so as far as as far as yeah, okay. 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 There we go. Okay. Cool. So what I'm gonna do here is probably okay, so what I'm gonna do here is send a request to the server to access shared network resources like files, printers, or serial ports. And the server then authenticates the client and provides access to the requested resource if authorized, allowing the client to read, write, or perform actions on the shared resource. And based on their permissions, once finished, the client closes the connection with the server by sending a log off message. So essentially, right? Fuck, dude. This is fucking annoying. Okay, so if I hold up. If I try, let me try something here. All right. So what I'm gonna do is probably sec. Okay. CIA. The CIA is basically confidentiality, availability, and integrity. So, cyber SMB client, and CIA, cyber. Okay. Privacy. Okay. Okay. One sec, guys. One second. Using your dataset. Evaluate its performance. Evaluation and tuning. Yep, that's right. You assess the model's performance using metrics like accuracy, precision, recall, score. Based on these results, you tune the model's hyper parameters to feature engineering to improve its predictions. Okay. Insight and interpretation. Once the model is trained and performs well, data scientists interpret the result to gain actionable insights. This might involve understanding feature importance, identifying trends, or making predictions based on the model's output. So while datasets are critical to making sense of a problem, people in machine learning typically follow a structured process to extract insights rather than... Okay. I just had to get this out the way, just out of curiosity. One second. So if I just install this, I already have this, I'm pretty sure, yeah. Okay, so listing available shares. Yeah, okay. Available shares. Replace, okay, with the IP address or host name of the target server. This command will display a list of shared resources on the server. Okay. Well, alright. Cursive file transfer. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. Available shares on the server. Okay. So let's just say cyber. So use a data camp protocol. I like having everything in bold. Fuck. Okay. Okay. Right. Okay. Right. Mm. Right. 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 Okay. Okay. Redeeming bug bunnies, malware analysis, cloud security. Hack the bugs, track me. Right. Okay. Okay. This is where I'm. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Okay. There we go. Vulnerabilities. Weaknesses in the system. Yeah, obviously, but yeah. So this is the common vulnerability scoring system, and yeah, okay. So common vulnerabilities and exposures. So this is the usual. Focuses on identification and tracking of vulnerabilities. The list maintained by Mitre, I don't know who that is, publicly discloses vulnerabilities and exposures. Okay, so as you can see, a unique reference number is used for each vulnerability. Okay, so this is vulnerabilities. So I'm just gonna have vulnerabilities, cyber, copy this, and paste that here. Amazing. All right. So next, what do we have here? So we have software vulnerabilities and everything in between. So, marketing. Okay, so, ow, my throat hurts. Copy. Breachers. So, eavesdropping, that's the interception of connect information intended over for someone else during its transmission over a communication channel. Unauthorized modification of information, interruption or degradation of degradation of a data service or information access can cause a system to become unavailable, masquerading the fabrication of information that is purported to be from someone who is not actually the author. Repudiation, the denial of a commitment or data receipt. Maybe. Okay. Sources of security threats. Cyber sources of security threats. Passive and active attacks. Yes, so this is effective operation involves some modification of data stream. Yeah. Yep. Protection Act. Okay. Branches can be labeled with values representing the presented as branches. 1 second, guys. Presented as branches, subnodes, and subnodes of the tree. Branches can be labeled with values representing difficulty, cost, or other attack attributes. Okay. Search for password. Gain physical access to computer on the darknet. Steal access ID, blacktailing. Search for it, post-it notes. Look for computers that are not locked. Search for pawn password, and by pin pawn password. Stock key logout wires. Cyber threat model. Cool. Yet. Okay. Covering tracks of obfuscation. Interesting. Will I? Okay. R.I.P. Smoke. Interesting. Interesting, interesting. Okay. Okay. Yo, what the fuck? 1 second, guys. What the fuck? One second, guys. Okay, cool. So, okay. So obviously, okay, cool. We have the victimless crime, the Robin Hood ideal, national pride and bad patriotism, education value. Okay. So as far as I think I'm fine for now. Just gonna refer to this later on. Unlock server rooms, lack of surveillance, unprotected hardware, lack of training, social engineering, susceptibility. Okay. Transmission control protocol. Layer packets. Okay. Brokenness, access control, cryptography, failures, injection, insecure design, security misconfiguration. Okay. Server-side request. Forgery. Active scanning. Sublister. Nmap. Vapalizer. Web. Built with Netcat. Yeah. Websoid. Necto. Duobuster. Nmap. And so much more. OWASP top 10. Injection, broken authentication, and others. So. Right. The physical data network transport session presentation and application. Physical, please don't. What was it? Please do not take sausage something away. Sausage pizza away. Please do not take sausage pizza away. Please do not take sausage pizza away. Physical, please physical. Do data network, not network. Take transport. Sausage session. Presentation pizza. Away application. Okay. But I need to refer to that again. Cyber TCP, which is obviously transmission control protocol. We have a SMB, which is a server message broadcast, I'm pretty sure. And DNS domain name servers. File transit protocol, super secure host. SMTP, I think it was like server message transmission protocol. Oh no, hypertext transfer protocol and secure. What else? BOP3, I have no idea. DNS domain name server. TFTP, I have no idea. Transmission, I don't know. SNMP, again, I have no idea. DHCP, user data protocol. Cool. Physical data network transportation, transport session presentation application. Okay. Where? Okay. 1 second, guys. One sec. One sec. Bruh. I can't check this. Okay, that's interesting, I guess. Fuck that. Okay, so obviously we have netcat, right? So obviously we have so you can look for ports, right, on a certain IP. You can attack using these ports, I'm pretty sure. So from what I know, you can use Hydra to sort of connect and get the thing running. I mean, use a FTP to send files across. That's the file transfer protocol, right? So yeah, apart from that, we have what? DNS recon. What's DNS recon? Could I keep this open? What does this do? Let me try. Where's N? Okay. Assuming this is like some sort of what number? IP. What does this mean? Okay, I guess this is just random, but yeah, seems fine for now. Lack of surveillance. I can't fucking speak for some reason. Lack of training. Social engineering. Susceptibility. Read password. Correct access controls. Overly permissive. Rules. Lack of multi-factor authentication. Interesting. What if we try like SMP client? SMP client. And then I just give it an IP. Chakra using not sublister. I'll use Nicto. Okay. And apart from that, we have you. I mean, let's just try. Okay. Doesn't seem like it's working. Okay. That's fine. Okay. Yep. Okay. So I gotta like sort of find these passwords. Synchronize, acknowledge. Synchronize, acknowledge, finish, reset. Synchronize, acknowledge. So it goes back and forth. Yep. Query domain. Okay. It sends the answer back. So it queries, and then sends the answer back. Query, sends the answer back. So it's basically request response cycles from your local machine from a certain application. Uses a resolver where they store cache in each of these just to, sort of double verify, I guess. Yep, this is request response cycles under the transmission control protocol. So as far as layers go, I think this should do the job. So it's not really in order, to be honest. Yeah, this is completely irrelevant in a way. Transport layer, TLS. What does TLS stand for? Transport layer security. TLS. And okay. Where was I? I'm pretty sure I was somewhere like, I don't know, here. What does dig do? I have no idea what dig does, to be honest. Okay, but if I can just do, okay. Right, okay. Okay, cool. Okay, let me just copy this. And let me just paste this over here. Mail exchange server, name server, txt. Yeah, that's text records. PTR. So SOA stands for start of authority, isn't it? So if I just do dig t, sorry, it was like, yeah, it's this one exactly. Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. So let me try. Worksfactory.com. Doesn't work here. Oh, sorry, my bad. Okay. There we go. It's on Cloudflare. So usually if I go for, if I just do Nicto, right? Okay, so I can just get this. If I do something like, now that I have the IP, if I just use, what was it called again? Not dig. If I just do dig, it'll basically do the same thing, isn't it? I just do, so I'll give it the IP. Okay, what's this? Can I just give it the port number as well? I can just give it like port number 80. Okay, what is this? It was in India, right? It was something like, no. Yeah, okay. So I'm just using the DNS request. Yep, there we go. Okay. Cool. Yeah. So if I can use Nicto, so essentially if I can use Nicto, and if I can get some data from Nicto, and if I can, with that data, because it shows me, if I can just use Nmap on it as well, so I can just do network mapping and look for the top ports under 1000, and I can just use this IP address. Where is it? Right here. If I paste this over here, we'll search for the port numbers. Now I could go about this in two different ways. I can look for the service behind certain port numbers as well. So as you can see, we have these port numbers. So this is the usual. So if you go to forexfactory.com, it should use this one, which is the hypertext transfer protocol. But if I wanna use something like, let's say, sublister, for example, or even wayback URLs, where I can just give it this and say wayback URLs. And that way, I'm not really getting anything back. So if I just use forexfactory.com, now I should be able to get back certain routes. In certain cases, if I do certain things like this, sometimes you can access the admin panel. Yeah, so they seem to have better, yeah, so it's a page now found. So it's obviously a completely invalid page in that case. So in this case, what I'm going to do is probably wait for this to get completed, but sublister can also do the same thing, except it does it better. So I'm just going to do sublister. I just do sublister and sublister D and give it forexfactory.com. And now I should be able to get paths from both of these wayback URLs and sublister, right? So you can use Nicto and sublister to gather information as much as possible, and Nicto, sublister, and wayback URLs. Now, once you have this information, attack lifecycle. So let me just. So this is exactly what I'm talking about. So we have the information collection period, right? So usually you have the sniper attacks and stuff as well. So we could do the usual site and file type, gather more data, and we can also do, we can use Hydra to connect if you have a username and a password. So that's a username. So that's what it Hydra goes by. I think it was. Yeah. So you can use Hydra, and I'm pretty sure once you use Hydra, you can use, what was it again? You can use Hydra, and then there was something else you can use with it. What was it? It wasn't NC, right? That thing was Netcat. I'm pretty sure you can use Hydra and NC together. NC, but when you're using NC, essentially you give it a transfer protocol, isn't it? No, you don't. That's through Hydra. So you give it a transfer protocol, and Netcat is used to sort of connect. Oh wait, no, it's the other way around. I'm pretty sure. Oh, is it? Yeah, it is the other way around. So if I just try. Is this the correct way to transfer files? Question mark? Okay. Okay. Just go with it for now. Okay. Okay. Let's do. Okay. It's the same thing as Nikto, except Nikto gives support as well. So okay, cool, interesting. Um. I mean, this is not doing shit. So, yeah, it's nothing special. It's just redirecting. It's a 302. That's what it is. So obviously, I'm not getting the resources from the actual website, and for some reason, I'm not even getting there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to use Twitter or x.com. Can I? Okay, but that's fine. Just let me get in. Yeah, so this is the username and this is the password. And I'm pretty sure you can add the username in this field, right? Usernames and the passwords over here. So that way we'll run across those passwords and usernames. If you find them, for example, in a leaked database, for example, if I just do site transfers or look at that. So we can just find information like this. If, for example, I could have found. Okay, so we have NASA. There we go. So we can find information like this, and especially Tesla. No, nope. So if I can sort of use that over here and load certain files over here, payload 1 and payload 2. If I can also have a sniper attack where I can have the full payload in one, key value pairs, like for example, key and then like value, like this. It will run through the every key and value pair, and will basically iterate through it and attack a certain target. For example, let's say for example this, right? This is the IP, the DNS. So if I just do this and specify its number, port number 80 right here, the IP and the port number, if I give it the username and the password, I could also, do GET requests over here. And yeah, obviously this is an empty attack, right? So it doesn't make sense. So if it's a GET request, it doesn't make sense at all. So as you can see, I think we have a 200. Where is it? Is it a 200? Are we done with the? Yeah, it's all GET requests. So I don't think this is anything useful, to be honest. Yeah, it's a bunch of nonsense, to be honest. So it's not really taking me to the website, which is kind of annoying. But yeah, so as you can see, we see a lot of different information over here about different API routes that I used over here. So yeah, these different API routes also might have vulnerabilities and stuff. So this is the usual HTML behind the code. And yeah, these are the API routes. So what we can do here is probably, okay, these are the usual files. So as you can see, we have a 200 right here, and that's these files right here. Call Peter. Okay. I need to learn about this. Yeah, so repeater. This is obviously like a what do I call it? So it's still not redirecting me. So what I can do instead is probably, look at this. This got me nothing. This got me a bunch of different routes, as you can see. So if I run a SQL injection, if I'm lucky enough, I can get some data back from this. So what I'm gonna do here is probably, let me see, this one. Okay. Oh fuck. Okay. What? Are you fucking serious? Are you fucking kidding me? Oh my god. Mhm. Oh, okay. Okay. Got it. I got why. Let me try something here. This is annoying. Are you kidding me? Bro, it's already there. What? Mm. What? Mm. What? Man. Fuck. Why? Why is it not working? Cool. Interesting.
So if we look at our basket, it's probably crazy at the moment. And you can see we got a success. Be in Kali Linux today, except for when we are doing bug bounties. So this will all be Windows-based tonight. So I am on our Juice Shop here. I'm just logged into Juice Shop. If you are not logged into Juice Shop, then go ahead and get logged in. Though I don't believe, actually this first one does require us to be logged in. So the first challenge we're gonna do, we're gonna kind of go in order a little bit. The challenge says to order the Christmas special offer of 2014. And let's open up our Burp Suite. I'm gonna bring this over here. Okay, so I've got Burp Suite. I've already got the target set up and picked out. I've done some things in here, but don't worry about this. I will be in Pro tonight, but everything that I do is going to be available in the regular version as well. So anyway, what we're gonna do here is the first challenge, which let's go ahead, and that's fine. So what you're seeing, episodes, it brings back and off the command. We go through it as from products where, and then it's doing a little search here. Okay. So it's killing the statement. What's happening is we have a syntax error too, because if you look at the statement and we're closing it off, which you see we're closing it off here, and we're ending it, but we're missing something. If we read through the statement again, you can see that we're actually missing a couple of these guys. So you see the parentheses? If we were to put the parentheses in here and see what happens, you can see now there's a success. So we have the success, and if you're looking at it like this, I'm sorry it sucks, but this is kind of what you're looking for to get back. I'm going to do it on the JSON beautifier just so you guys can have a clear picture. So what we're supposed to be looking for is a product from 2014, meaning that it no longer exists. So we've successfully completed this SQL injection, and why this is important if you go back. So we're looking for deleted at being null in the original statement. So when we search the tables in the statement, deleted at was null, meaning that it would not return anything back that was actually deleted. So deleted at null means this is actually still a product in the shop. If we scroll down a bit and just hit something that has actually been around, which you see item ID 10 has been around and then deleted in 2014, then you realize that this is what they're talking about. This is the special thing or special item from Christmas of 2014. So it got deleted right after Christmas. Now what they want you to do is actually order this. Let's turn off the intercept. And if we go back, we can actually just process this. We can add this to our cart here. And if we do, let's do an intercept again and see what happens. So let's add this to our cart. Let's look at the request for the cart. And just says rest basket null forward. Okay, nothing special there. If we go to our target and let's look at the API, because the API was actually sending this, and we're doing basket items here. So one of the basket items is sending over quantity 1. Let's make sure on something here. Let's actually do F12. Let's do F12 and look at the storage and see what our BID is, our basket ID, if it'll tell us. And I'm not seeing it. Let's check out our basket. Let's refresh this as well. Let me turn off the proxy here. Let's see if we get our basket ID. I'm not seeing it. That's all right. So it goes, but I picked and chose the ones I thought were good. Even the cross-site scripting ones didn't feel natural. So after, and we'll turn our intercept on here. And then I'm just going to do a search and say test. I'm going to hit enter, and that shouldn't do anything except intercept a proxy, which is forward that and forward that. I actually need to.
Okay, this doesn't seem like it's working though. I don't know. I feel like, I don't know. Let's see.
Search it one more time. See if that works. Okay, and I'm going to send this to repeater. So what you're not seeing here, if we send this, you're seeing that there's a bunch of.
So the proxy detects.
Send this to repeater.
Okay, send it to repeater.
So at your time, and say test that, you're seeing that there's a
Repeater.
bunch of, okay, we just sent a queue search of nothing, and that's fine. So what you're seeing here is just a bunch of gibberish in JSON format. Now, there is one thing that I do have that you won't have because this is an extension to Burp Suite Pro. If you do have Burp Suite Pro, the JSON beautifier is a nice feature because it takes this junk here and just turns it into pretty. So I like pretty here. So anyway, what we did was we searched on this parameter of queue. And with queue, if we search nothing, it brings back everything. So what we need to look for and look at here is a little bit of injection. And now we've done some injection already in previous episodes. And injection could be as simple as just putting in something like that, a single quote, sending it, and seeing what happens, right? And nothing really happens here. So that's okay. We can also target. So if we target here on test, you can see we send it, pulls back, and then we send again, and that's still successful. So what if we close off the command? Aha. So either way, you do it on both. I've had it saved, but if you do it here, and we actually close off our statement, you can see we get a SQL error. So what's happening here? Well, you see that the syntax just threw an error for us. So if we look down, now if we were to view this, if we were to actually inject this on the browser itself, wouldn't be as pretty. You would probably just see an error message. But here we're actually seeing a full error message, and you can see when it comes through, it's saying select star. So we know what star is from products where, and then it's doing a little search here. Okay, the search is putting in this to this. You see there. So we have in here 3. Those here and I have a space. Here and I have a space. So you see we injectable, but it's going to continue to try. It comes through also the query. One is SQL map, and here's SQL map. All I do with SQL map is I would take some of their database. The sleepy time. We will. That is the people proxy. So let's drop Easter egg. All right. What you could say? You could say also route 13 stands for rotate 13. So you're literally just rotating this half of the alphabet forward or backwards. Let me go ahead and turn my intercept off, which I was already in there spazzing. Okay, so let's drop that, and then we'll go ahead and do a route 13 decoder, which probably, I'm surprised CyberChef doesn't come right up. We put in here. Route 13, you see the devs are so funny, they hid an Easter egg within the Easter egg. Yeah, this is technically a cipher, that is correct. It is a cipher. Don't know why I said technically. Okay, then you come in here, and now we get space. So here's your other Easter egg. So they've hit some stuff in here, and this is really stuff like, it is what it is. It's not really gonna, I don't know, teach us anything. It's just more capture the flag type stuff. But you know, I think it's fun to at least acknowledge the Easter eggs that they put in there. So that's really it. Like, I don't think there, so you're more than welcome to go and
Looking to begin your investment journey? Well, your search ends here. Invest in real estate with Smart
Crowd, but you also can go to their website and the tricks. This is correct. We are going to target, and look what happened. QTest, Rally Dev, Ring Central. And when it's the server, and we're information here, and we try 20 searches. Nick doesn't find a lot of scans. Say, hey, here's your target IP. I'll show you why this is nice here in a minute. It's got the SSL cert info. Sometimes we find things like wildcard certification, and as you can see, if you scroll down active scans, and that gets all stored inside of this. So all those requests that you made will get put into here. Now, if you run an active scan, no. If you catch me, awesome. You've caught me. I'll tone down the scanning. We'll make it slower. We'll make it quieter. Everything we've learned in 19, looking at HTML, and so it goes here. One of the most saying to attackers, hey, so a pound worked. Oh, I see what I did. Holy shit, I copied the whole console. Yeah, let's kill Firefox. Teach yourself. Document I want to write. Let's go ahead and document I want to write. It's going to be very simple. Anyway, so they're not as time delayed commands will say, hey, delay for a second, delay for 10 seconds. And then you send it over and you wait for a response. Does the response come back in 1 second? Does it come back in 10 seconds? Then you know, right? So, but again, right now, we just need to identify that we can cause an error. And here it is. We can see there's SQL. When I said earlier that Burp Suite identified SQLite, it is correct. And it's identifying it in the response with how it's coming back. And it's actually, some of this is actually pulling down. You can see the server error here that's pulling down the response. If we were to push this through to a repeater, I'll bring this, make this bigger, that we can see exactly where it's seeing another error page here. What's going on is it's looking through the rest right here at the products, and we haven't gotten this far, so don't worry about this. But you can see that it's injecting here just this one apostrophe, right? And through that apostrophe, errors out the server. And it causes the server to go crazy. You start seeing SQL syntax errors. And when you see SQL syntax errors like this tells us that we have SQL injection, right? Somebody said you've never seen SQL injection finding in Burp in your life. I've seen them come up. I've never seen a valid SQL injection in Burp Suite either. So they're not as common as they used to be in terms of finding it like that. So most of this is all testing manually. So in this instance, we would fuzz. I should get intro. So if you see the HTML here, what's going on? They've got a JavaScript script here. Okay, and they've created a variable called source, and then they say hello, and similar example to what I was saying, right? Hello Heath, hello whoever. They're doing this decode URI because most modern browsers nowadays will actually, will obfuscate this malicious content. So for the example of this, they're going to not allow that to happen, and we're going to go ahead and just have a hash split. So this hash split is going to be, if you see like a www.whatever.com, this is never hitting the server and the privacy policy. Also, honestly, this application, let's go ahead and go to our, most of our, a question as well. So what does, we can modify, delete databases, table. We're going to do admin in Burp Suite. Over to intruder. Your intruder tab should light up. And if we go into positions, it's all green. We don't want all that. So let's go ahead and just get clear. Okay, so from here, we have set our email address, which we want to be constant, so we're going to leave that alone, is going to be weak session token. Data for one condition. You're cheesy, and it's going and saying, hey, I have seen this, whatever you want to call it. A long way for the channel. Started Burp community, and it's going and saying, hey, I want you to register this user. And the response is going to come back and say, okay, well, 6 ago, something like what's going on. Let's tell them they suck. What we just did here falls under, okay, value do quantity, dive into, we'll do process to it and show you. And it wasn't because we've just been, you can, however, through via file upload, blah, 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 XML version is, but union is what we're going to goes off your points. Basically, if you've been here, take a common SQL verb is a be a 5. You see, active scanner, the choice will bring you to this. We use this to they had running in here. Here, okay, so it's getting a little unbuilt at all. So if I were to just put in, like, say, instead of the sleep command, I had, just a single quote in here. I would have no idea if it was actually injecting or not because there was. So let's are available. Interesting. So instead of downloading it, let's try challenges. Coupons one is one that will do it. Challenges that
get everything you.
The invoice. I'll send that right now in QuickBooks.
Scaling. Okay.
see what it is. So by default, can. And then what we're going to do is we're going to use, it's going to read the line. Script is stats.spike. So if you want to go ahead and type register, okay. Do that, take a look at that. We have 108. Then close out, the crash should exploit the socket. What you do is we're going to need to off that about this offset variable to save this for 2. Fairly easy. So is the hex dump. We have bad. This is definitely, but again, let's 5 immunity inc settings. Okay, now some shell. We got our 6.2. So you see AF 4. This JM 86, but we'll do left. So it's called the padding. Hit enter has been easy in a payload of the initial. I want to show you something. Okay. And hopefully we should have see in your ESP. And we'll just go ahead and results as we do this, running the script. Ahead. Run through this. Pop a shell and get subscribe. Pop a shell. Check out what's going on. So I said I pulled exe. Maybe that's in here. You can see we have some ports open. We've got port 21, 3389, and then this 9999 instead of ASCII. Binary just has a little bit better of a transfer and it's waiting for a connection. I'm just going to create a new tab. Now we also have to send a introduction to buffer overflow series or buffer overflows that we need to also break the program. 433. Exactly what I want to do. 2012 your port. And we're going to come in here and we're just going to go B RN just like we did before. I'm going to click. I'm going to close. This is going to send over. So you have your list. You got the DLL. Please that. x86 architecture. The different we're fine, but maybe if we had 2500, we need to do traders. So we've owned an admin account running this. We're sending this over to questions that it wants to see.
If your goal is to learn about web app pen testing or the foundations of attacking web applications so that you can step into the world of bug bounty, then you're in the right place. But instead of just giving you a checklist of things to look at, I want to take you through how I approach learning new things like new attacks, and how I would start from zero if I woke up tomorrow knowing nothing about how web applications work, which is kind of a sad thought really, a big chunk of my life just disappearing like that. But we'll also cover how I approach continuous learning, and of course, if you find any of this useful, then feel free to like and subscribe or leave a comment below, and let's just dive in. Here at TCM, we're always trying to help you build your knowledge and skills, and one of the best ways to do this is by participating in Capture the Flag competitions. The next one I'll be joining is Fetch the Flag, a free virtual CTF hosted by Sneak and John Hammond on February 27th. The CTF runs for 12 hours, starting at 9 AM and finishing at 9 PM Eastern Time, so you can play for as long or as little as you'd like. During the CTF, there will be over 20 challenges, including web and binary exploitation, and a chance to win prizes like the MetaQuest 3S VR headset, and of course, bragging rights. Plus, it's for all levels of players, with challenges ranging from beginner to advanced. But if you are new to Capture the Flag, then join the CTF 101 workshop on February 13th, where you'll solve practice challenges in a hands-on environment. Plus, get live support from experts, so you'll be ready to compete on game day. So, gather your team, and you can register using our link at sneak.co/thecybermentorftf, and of course the link is also in the description below. So first up, I get this question a lot. How do I start XYZ from scratch? And the answer is really simple. Take a beginner-friendly course, and by beginner-friendly, I just mean one that's designed for those without prior knowledge in the field. Courses in general are designed to structure your learning and be a time-efficient way to learn something, and that's really the first test. Can you make it through a course that's designed to help you succeed and stick with it and make it to the end? If you've bought and started multiple courses, or you're signed up to different services and you don't make it past a week or so, then maybe you're pursuing the goal or the status rather than really enjoying the process. And I'll tell you now, if you don't enjoy doing the work, then you won't enjoy being a pen tester or a bug bounty hunter or AppSec engineer, because it is 99.9% hard work and 0.1% Hollywood hacking. It sounds like I'm being cynical, but really what I'm trying to say is that the doing part and learning new things and troubleshooting in particular is the job. That's it. And being curious about why something didn't work or why an application gave a particular response is really important. Otherwise, you're going to end up very, very frustrated a lot of the time. So going back to courses, which course should you take? In my opinion, go onto YouTube. Most creators have some content on there. Find out which one you vibe with the most and who explains things in a way that keeps you engaged and helps you understand, and then go with their course. Obviously, I'd love it if you were working through the web courses at TCM Academy, but Rana Khalil's course is also an excellent option, and the pathways on TryHackMe are good too. This is at TCM Academy, but Rana Khalil's course is also an excellent
fair value gap secret.
Most people don't know this, but the best way to make money online is not dropshipping, Amazon FBA, affiliate marketing.
I introduced two-candle rejection to YouTube about a month ago, and everyone loved it. Now we are back, but with a twist. We are going to dive deeper into two-candle rejection and how it helps you. Because if you truly understand two-candle rejection, we could continue lower. Then what we need to understand is the nature of price action is to create a fair value gap as fast as possible. Well, it's a byproduct. Because evidently, like we see, anytime we continue higher or continue lower in the market, sooner or later, we will create value gap, a new expansion phase candle right there, as fast as possible. And from this new fair value gap, we see the same thing. The first candle is a rejection, so that means the second candle can simply continue lower right there. PD rate. So we have this bearish PD rate and this bullish PD rate, where in both scenarios, we are seeing two-candle rejection. Now this means that we are both respecting the bearish PD rate, the swing high, with two-candle rejection that we might continue lower from. And also the bullish PD rate, the bullish fair value gap right there that we are respecting and might continue higher from. Now, why is this a problem? Well, let me explain that using an analogy. So imagine the following. We have a tug of war. You know the game where two teams pull on both sides of the rope to see which side is stronger. Imagine on the left side of the rope, you have team bearish that is pulling on the rope. On the right side, you have team bullish that is also pulling on the rope. Now, if both teams are equally as strong, then what happens? The rope doesn't move and stays in the middle. Now, think of this as in the market, we would say the rope is price. And if both sides are equally as strong, so both sides of the market are respecting those PD rates, then the price is not going anywhere. It's going to create consolidation and stay in the middle. This is a problem because this is what we ideally want to avoid. Now, imagine that rope again and team bullish is stronger and is now starting to actually move that rope. This in the market will show itself as bullish price action, and more importantly, we will show that we will be disrespecting those bearish PD rates. So once we disrespect one side, so either that bearish or bullish PD rate, we are now free to move. And when this is the case, we are looking at an extremely high probability area to trade. So what we need to know is how we can figure out when one side of the market is getting disrespected. And we'll get into that in just a second. First, you need to quickly understand that price is always moving towards a PD rate and from a PD rate, meaning that if we are going to continue lower, like we see right here, then the cause of that movement lower is going to be due to a bearish PD rate. And if we want to continue lower again, we see again right here that we continue lower from another PD rate. This creates that ping pong effect where we are moving higher towards PD rate, we're also rejecting from a PD rate, and then we move higher again from a new PD rate. Exactly what we are looking at right here, because we are rejecting from this PD rate right there, we can potentially continue lower, but we're also rejecting from this other PD rate. So we now need to figure out, well, which one of those two PD rates are we going to disrespect first? In other words, if we disrespect the bearish PD rate, then we're going higher. If we disrespect the bullish PD rate, then we are going lower. So this again is a problem that we need to figure out. So how do we know if we are disrespecting either side? This is quite an advanced process. So I made a free guide that I'll share with you at the end of this video, so you can also use this in your own trading. So a side or those PD rates are getting disrespected when two-candle rejection in the given PD rate is failing. And when is a two-candle rejection failing? When we run the rejection. Now that is a mouthful. So let's break that down fully. First, what is the rejection of the two-candle rejection? So currently we have two-candle rejection in motion from this swing high right there, but also from this bullish fair value gap. We see from the swing high, the first candle is actually a rejection right there. Then we understand that the second candle, etc., can then continue lower if we want to follow through lower, higher. Now, to understand that, you need to understand the difference to the previous candle low to then create a rejection. Again, according to the rules of two-candle rejection. So the rejection low is this low sitting right there. And again, let's also name this the rejection low. And what do we do next? We simply wait until we either run the rejection high or we run the rejection low. But what is this run that we are talking about? To understand that, you need to understand the difference between a sweep versus a run on liquidity. When we, for example, sweep this previous candle low, why are we sweeping that? A previous candle low like this is simply set a swing point. So in this case, a swing low on the time frames below. It's liquidity. That's where people place their stop loss, where they are starting to look for new entries, etc. Now, sweeping happens when we are not comfortable above a high or low. So what we're seeing here is both with this previous candle low and also with the swing high that we were looking at, is that we are wicking it. Why? Because it's fast price action right there. It's quite an aggressive move towards the opposite side. And why is that sweep so aggressive? Because that sweep is there to trap people. And if the market traps people like this, then it shouldn't release them because it needs their opposing liquidity, that stop loss right there, to take them out. That's why the move is aggressive. And then this, like we see here, this oftentimes results in those wicks, because those wicks are made up of lower time frame value gaps. In other words, where we move fast. Now on the opposite side, if we want to know if we are disrespecting, trapping people as well right there. So if we now want to disrespect this bearish fair value gap and we want to make sure that we are running the rejection highs right there, because this again is then also a new rejection high from this bearish fair value gap, then we need to run those highs. And this oftentimes will result in the following. What we see right here is that we close above the rejection high with that candle right there. And this tells us, because we are running the right there, are still getting respect. The first, this bullish, but we are also at, what do? We close below the rejection low. Same thing happens over and over and over. Thing happens. Well, are we going to run the high or run the low? And what do we see right here? We keep on sweeping and respecting that rejection high right there. And instead, what do? We close below the rejection low, disrespecting this fair value gap. Meaning that now we have a clear path. This fair value gap, meaning that now we have a clear path again towards these lows right there. And the same thing happens over and over and over. First, link in the description for the full process discussed in this video and also some extra examples to help you out. All right, perfect. Thank you.
All right, perfect. So
does this look like a normal fair value gap to you that we can trade back into?
My name is Daniel,
from?
and I've been...
Yes, but in NFT we said no, this is a breakaway gap, a fair value gap that we don't trade back into. So how did we know this? Correlation. But I'll show you the live process that we had in just a second. First, we need to understand how we can predict a breakaway gap. This here is a context area where we are respecting a discount array PD rate. For example, this one right there. Now how we can still discount array and now moving towards the first opposing PD rate, this swing high right there. On the same time frame, this is ideally where we should form breakaway gaps. And what we see, if that doesn't happen and it becomes a fair value gap instead, if we go down time frames, this is price action you want to avoid, because this turns turns into consolidation right there. But to understand, instead, if we go down time frames, this is price action you want to avoid because this turns into consolidation right there. But to understand a breakaway gap truly, it is not so much about the fair value itself, it is more so about the target. Imagine that you are home and you are going to the gym and it's a 60-minute walk to the gym. Now you're almost there. Let's say you are 10 minutes away from the gym right now and all of a sudden you realize, oh, I forgot my towel. Are you then going to walk all the way back to your house 50 minutes to then walk 60 minutes again back to the gym? Quite unlikely. And more so, it's not logical because it's not efficient. And the market is all about efficiency. The market will always choose the most efficient thing to do. So to determine if it's a breakaway gap, we need to take this into account. So how does this analogy apply to the market? When we create a fair value gap, for example, this one right there, then we need to understand what the next target is. In other words, what is the target? The target is always the closest PD rate. So if we are moving higher, we are moving towards those premium rates, those bearish PD rates right there. So this is the next target. So at this moment in time, is it logical for the market, using that analogy, to retrace all the way back towards the fair value gap before reaching the target, or to first reach the target to then potentially later on create a deeper retracement? Well, very simply said, measure the distance. So we are, let's say, 450 points away from reaching the target, and we are more than 1,500 points away from the fair value gap. So it's not efficient for the market to first retrace back into the fair value gap, meaning that it's more likely to be a breakaway gap, where we are first going to reach the targets. Now, once we have reached these targets, a lot of people see a breakaway gap as when we... Now, once we have reached these targets, a lot of...
Right. The breakaway gap because... One second. I drove breakaway gap because price was very close to BSL.
A lot of people see a breakaway gap as when we close above the second candle high. So for example, right here, we have this fair value gap, which some people might see as a breakaway gap because the third candle closes above the second candle high. This is not inherently wrong because I also mentioned it in past videos, and it's a very beginner-friendly way of understanding what a breakaway gap might be, but more advanced is understanding that it's all about the target. So once we have reached that target, now there is a reason to retrace. So retracing back into that fair value gap is not illogical. So that is simply still a fair value gap that we can continue higher from. So how you can still profit from these breakaway gaps is by simply going down time frames to find a proper fair value gap right there. Now in just a second, I'll give you 3 things that you can pay attention to understand the value gap right there. Now in just a second, I'll give you reach that target. Now there is a reason to retrace. So retracing back into that fair value gap is not illogical.
Right.
So that is simply still a fair value gap that we can continue higher from. So how you can still profit from these breakaway gaps is by simply going down time frames to find a proper fair value gap right there. Now in just a second, I'll give you 3 things that you can pay attention to understand if it's really a breakaway gap. But first, let's understand why the MMT we mentioned that this is a potential breakaway gap. Here's a clip directly from the MMT at that time. I'm not too convinced that we are going to see a retracement back into the daily value gap. And why I say that is because if the dollar at this moment in time, it could definitely create a retracement, but it doesn't really have a reason to create a retracement back into fair value or anything like that to then continue higher. So we could argue that might lead to something small retracement to then already continue higher. And that unused Canadian dollar might lead to a scenario where we already use, for example, 1 hour swing lows to then already continue higher. Now, I can sit here and completely lie to you and say beforehand, we know exactly which fair value gap is potentially going to be a breakaway gap, but that's simply not true. No one knows. Trading is all about stacking up probabilities. The things we mentioned before this allows us to understand when it's more likely to be a breakaway gap. Nothing is 100% guaranteed. So then how can we still get very close to that 100%? Well, how do we know, even here on the free YouTube forecast, that this December candle right here was likely going to be another expansion of the dollar and that we would be creating this potential breakaway gap? Well, you want to pay attention to the following 3 things. The first one is 2 candle rejection. If we go down the time frame and we go to the weekly, we see that we also had a weekly fair value gap right there. Now on the weekly, we can see that we are actually respecting this weekly fair value gap already through 2 candle rejection. First candle does not reject, second candle sweeps the previous candle low to then expand higher. So there was no form of ugly 2 candle rejection, where the 2 candle rejection rules were not followed, thus we potentially have consolidation in that third candle. Then the next thing is a lack of fair value gaps. If we have a lack of fair value gaps, it's very likely that we are going to create a fair value gap right there to then stay into it, to then continue higher. But if we go into the daily right here from this weekly fair value gap, we did not lack fair value gaps. We had fair value gaps sitting right there, and even if we go to 4 hour, for example, there's loads of fair value gaps that are being respected. Before diving into the last one and the third thing, I need you to understand that when you are trying to predict a breakaway gap, if you go into that third candle, it's essentially looking if we are potentially consolidating or if the intention is already there to continue higher. And if the intention is already there to continue, then it's of course likely a breakaway gap. So that attention is confirmed by the third and last thing right here. When we do create these fair value gaps, what do we see? These fair value gaps are getting respected, meaning that those fair value gaps create new fair value gaps. So there's a lot of bullish intention already, meaning that we're not very likely to consolidate and we're not very likely to trade back into that monthly fair value gap right there because this candle is already an expansion seen from a low time frame. Now I have something special for you because you realize most of these things that we mentioned in this video are quite objective. So we have turned it into an indicator so that you can use it to your advantage. Feel free to check the link in the description if that does interest you. All right, perfect. Thank you.
I'm going to London at August.
Do you mean I am going to London in August?
I'm going to London in August.
Yes, we use in for months. When is your flight?
My flight is in.
Been recently given
Okay. Anyways. SQL injection. Interesting. Cross-site request forgery.
Hi everyone, welcome back to another video in the Web Security Academy series. In today's video, which me to sponsor my videos, what conditions must be satisfied for a page to be vulnerable to CSRF, how common are CSRF vulnerabilities, and so on. Next, we'll cover how to find CSRF vulnerabilities from both a white box and a black box perspective. So if you're given an application and possibly even the application source, once you have found that the you have a user and the banking application. The user needs to access the banking application. So the first thing that the user is going to do is supply the banking application with his credentials, which would be his username and password, which in this case is applicant, and the application sets a cookie in the user's browser. That cookie will be what identifies the user in all future requests. And so, do you have any cookies for so-and-so domain? If the cookie jar has any cookies that are assigned for the requested domain, then the cookie gets sent with the request. Now, when the backend receives the session cookie, it checks which user is assigned to this cookie. Now, in this case, the user that is assigned this session cookie over here is a user with the name user. The next thing that the application does is check the permissions that this user has, and if this user has permission to access the resource that was requested, then the resource is presented to the user on the browser. If the user does not have permissions to access the resource that was requested, the user is presented with an access denied message. And that's all we really need to know in this video about session management, and it'll become clear in a few slides why you need to know that piece of information. Alright, let's discuss cross-site request forgery, or in short, CSRF vulnerabilities. A CSRF attack is an attack where the attacker causes the victim user to carry out an action on inability is to send the victim user a malicious link that will conduct the CSRF attack. So in this case, our attacker sends the victim user an email that says click on this link. And if we look at the link over here, it's for the domain bank.com, which changes the email address of the attacker. So it'll change the email address of the attacker from one email address to another email address. However, if the attacker successfully gets the victim user to click on this link while the victim user is logged into the application, then the attacker will be able to successfully get the victim user to change his email address. There's that the email address be changed on his account to the email attacker@gmail.ca. And the change occurs. And what we're really doing over here is exploiting the default functionality of the browser to automatically send cookies to the assigned domains. And so now that the email has been changed, what the attacker can do is use the forgotten password functionality in the application and request a password reset. And since the attacker had already changed, that script changes the email address on your behalf, as long as you're logged without the victim address to one request is made by the user. It's one of the cookies for hosting the application in order to gain remote code.
Most people still think you need to have an online business to be able to do this. So it's 3 p.m. on a Tuesday. I'm here working from my laptop.
That means we won't find CSRF vulnerabilities in modern applications, but that's not full of that methodology. And just because it's alright, so when I'm describing my methodology for testing web apps, I also give cookie-based session handling, and 3, there has to be no unpredictable request parameters in the page that is the last section, and that's why it's all. So in this scenario, you would use a form element with hidden fields for all the required parameters in that request, and go about finding CSRF vulnerabilities from a black box perspective. Now let's discuss a white box perspective. So I've never approached finding CSRF vulnerabilities from a pure white box. Alright, so that's how I would go about finding CSRF vulnerabilities from a black box perspective. Now let's discuss a white box perspective. So I've never approached finding CSRF vulnerabilities from a pure white box perspective, and the reason behind that is because it's just really easy to find it from a black box perspective versus a white box perspective. However, imagine all the required parameters in that
Black box text testing. Okay.
request, and then you set the it's purely a white the developers introduce the form, and the second one is when it's a post request that is being performed. Now I'll reiterate, you should that will look into the image change the
What the fuck? Wiener? That's crazy.
the email address of
Get scenario. Okay.
the user on the system. So the script change functionality. So we've got bank.com/email/change and the path to the email change functionality is email change, and the parameter that it is as follows. So we've got the exploit example over here. The target of the form is CSRF iframe, and the reason we do that is because it tells the form to run within an invisible. So instead, world where it has a feature called, and I have 6 of them listed on the slide. Some of them are paid, whereas others are free. I personally use Burp Suite Pro, and the nice thing about Burp Suite is it has a feature called the CSRF POC generator that allows you to generate an exploit for a request that you think might be vulnerable to CSRF. And this is a slide from one of our labs. First part is box. However, in condition B, so you need to ensure that it's tied to the user session, and we'll see an example of that in one of the lab videos. The third condition are being transferred be sent lab session. However, is that our links are OWASP links that Hi everyone, welcome back to another video in the web security. So last but not least, add some SQL characters after the username. This
Oh, hello there. Are you here to get your mobile
application is vulnerable to SQL injection, so it doesn't use parameterized queries, it doesn't validate user input. Then what will happen is that any SQL characters or SQL code that the attacker adds as part of the payload will become part of the query. And so in this case, what's happening is select star from user, so select the entries from the user's table where username is equal to admin. The single quote over here that the attacker included closes the string for the username, and then the double dash stands for comment, and so it says comment out the rest of the query. And so what happens is the query becomes this. So select all the entries from the user's table where username is equal to admin. Now admin is an existing username in the database, and so what happens is that the database will return the admin user profile, and the attacker gets logged in as the admin user. So essentially, what happened over here is that the attacker exploited a SQL injection vulnerability in the login functionality of the application in order to bypass authentication. So in this case, the attacker no longer needed to know the admin's password because the attacker was able to change the query to no longer ask for the admin's password. So that's one example of how you could use SQL injection vulnerabilities in order to bypass authentication on login functionality. Now let's talk about what are other impacts of SQL injection attacks. And the real answer to this is that it really depends on the context of the SQL injection that you're exploiting. So some SQL injection vulnerabilities will only allow you to view data, whereas others will allow you to actually modify data. So when I was coming up with this slide, instead of listing the infinite number of things that you could do to applications with SQL injection vulnerabilities, I instead decided to just compare it to the SIA triad. So how it affects confidentiality, integrity, and availability.
Cool.